Hey, what's going on? It's Mike, and I'm here with another episode of Smart Simple Digital. Today, I'm going to show some of the tools and equipment that I use to create this series. So if you're someone who's interested in creating a video series of your own, or if you're someone who's just curious to see the tools that I use, then this video is for you. So first up is the camera. So I use a Canon 7D to record mostly all of my videos. When I'm not using that, in the past, I have used my iPhone 6 Plus. As far as my lens, I'm using a Sigma 18 to 50 millimeter lens. I've had that lens for years. I originally had it just as a photography lens, and so when I started doing this series, it came in handy. One of the things that I like about it is that it's super wide, so super wide angle, which really helps out in the space that I'm shooting in. And it also does really well with low light, which I'll get to in just a minute. Next up is my microphone. The mic that I use is it's an external mic. It's called a video mic, and it's made by a company called Rode. Pretty good quality. Before I was using that, when I was just starting out, I was using just the microphone that's built into my camera. I got some great quality out of that as well. But just over time, I just decided to upgrade, step things up, and just to go with that external mic. As far as my tripod, so what I'm using to hold my camera up right now, to hold it in place, I use a tripod that's made by a company called Manfrotto. Really super light. It's like a carbon fiber tripod. Again, that was something that I had just as a photography accessory that I used when I was doing photography. And so when I started to do this series, I had it, so I started using it. But you don't need a fancy tripod like this, really. You know, use a tripod that is, you can get a cheap tripod, but just make sure that it's strong enough to support whatever camera that you use. But again, you don't need a fancy tripod. Also, another tripod accessory that I use is this smartphone holder. So this really comes in handy whenever I shoot a video with my phone. And so, in fact, for the very first video that I shot for the Smart Simple Digital series, I did it on my iPhone 6 Plus, and I used this smartphone holder. And the way that it works is that you just slide your phone into the holder, and then you place this on your tripod. So this just screws down onto your tripod, and then you can just set it in place and then record yourself. So this thing really comes in handy. I got it on Amazon several years ago. I think I paid maybe about between $20, $30 maybe. Definitely comes in handy. So if you're just starting out, all you have is your smartphone. This is definitely a good investment. Something good to have. Next up is lighting. So I don't use any special lighting equipment to create these videos. The only thing I have is natural light. So in the room that I'm in, there are two really nice sized windows, and they let in a bunch of awesome natural light. I happen to think the natural light is the best lighting source. When I was just starting out, I had an LED light. In the very first video that I ever created for this series, I had a LED lighting box, and I didn't really like the quality from it, and I didn't think it made that much of a difference. So I've just been rocking with natural light ever since. You know, a lot of people that I hear from who are just getting started in video or thinking about it, lighting is one of the first things that come to mind, and people think that they have to get really fancy lighting rigs when they're just starting. But really, if you just have some natural light in the location where you're shooting, I would really suggest that you start with that first, and you'll be surprised at the type of quality that you can get out of that. Another thing that I'll add with lighting as well, so I was talking about my lens earlier, and so I think your equipment can also help you to get good quality lighting as well. So there are a lot of times when I am shooting in this room and it's maybe close to sunset, a little after sunset, so there's just a little bit of light coming in, but I'm able to adjust my lens and use the manual settings in my camera in such a way that they will just overcompensate and just let a bunch of light into the scene and make things look a lot brighter than they actually are. And so I think that's another reason why I think that, you know, when you're just starting out especially, you don't need lighting equipment. If you know how to use your equipment, use the settings, especially if you have some manual settings on the camera that you're using, There are definitely manual controls that you can use on your iPhone as well, but definitely in a DSLR or an advanced digital camera. If you know how to use those settings, you can go a long way to get some great lighting quality out of it. But I will also say that, you know, as you advance in whatever it is that you're doing, and you really figure out what you're shooting, what kind of videos that you want to create, then definitely, you know, you can bump things up to those advanced lighting rigs. But when you're just starting out, just try to start with some natural lighting first if it's available. See what you can get, and then go from there. So after I record my videos, I then transfer them from my camera over to my computer. So the computer that I have, or I should say the laptop that I have, is a MacBook Pro. It's a 13-inch MacBook Pro. So once the videos are loaded onto my computer, I then use iMovie to edit them. So iMovie is just a basic video editing software that comes pre-installed on Macs, and it also comes pre-installed on iPhones as well. So whenever I've shot on my phone, whenever I've done a video on my phone, I use iMovie to do the editing on my phone. And so iMovie is also the program that I use on my Mac as well to edit all of my videos. I think the version that I'm using right now is iMovie 10. So another piece of equipment that comes in handy when I'm editing is my external monitor. So I have a 24-inch Dell LED external monitor that I also use when I'm editing. And I like using that because it gives me just two spaces to work with. So when I plug it into my laptop, I'm able to use my laptop screen, of course, and then I can also drag things over to my larger monitor, and I just, you know, really convenient, really convenient thing to have. So that's what I also use, just a 24-inch Dell external monitor. So I think that's it. That's my setup. That's what I use to produce these videos. That's just what I have. And I'm not making a recommendation. That's just what I have. I'm just sharing the tools that I have. You know, one of the things that you hear quite often, and it's very true, is that you can start with anything. So it doesn't matter what equipment that you're using. Again, if all you have is just a smartphone and you want to start doing a video series, start there. You know, because a lot of times you can make the mistake of just going out and buying a bunch of equipment because you see everybody else using it and you think that's what you need. And I'm guilty of that, right? But what ends up happening is that you find out that some of those things just don't even turn out to be practical for what you're doing. So just start small, start with what you have, and then let your needs dictate what you get next. So take that approach. Also, remember that the most important thing is your content. So if you have good content, it doesn't matter what you shoot on, what you record, your sound on, whatever. If you have good content, you can win. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. If you like this information, if you found this information helpful, be sure to like this video, share this video as well. Also, go over to my Facebook page, have a bunch of other videos and good content there also, and check out my website, smartsimpledigital.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.